All right, here we go. We're gonna jump right into it. We got UFC 119 coming up very shortly.
Saturday.
This is hopefully gonna post Friday, so it'll be tomorrow night. We got actually a really good card, which is gonna make up for the horrible
too bad.
card that's gonna be
UFC 120.
UFC 120.
Horrible.
The reason why I think this is a good card is because I think you have, four fights that you're genuinely interested in. 118 was a good card here in Boston. But let's jump right into it. We're just going to do the main card. We had a couple people give us all their picks, which is awesome. Quickly before we get into it, I find it really funny how Matt Mitrione is now in the undercard after fighting and kicking Kimbo Slice out of the UFC.
I never liked Matt Mitrione.
I didn't either. He was just... But I just find it funny how he went from third fight on the main event to the undercard.
Yup.
Let's jump right into our first fight. Is Melvin Gilliard against Jeremy Stevens. Manaf, who you got in this one?
I got Mr. Melvin Gilliard. He's only 27 years old, but has 34 pro fights. He's very experienced. He was on season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter. I think he's poised for a breakout. He's a strong lightweight contender. I think now that he's on a main card, he's gonna work his way up to the lightweight.
I'm gonna take Stevens here, considering you and I are 2-2.
Touche.
And this is one of the fights I could go either way on. I think Stevens just has a better stand-up.
Yeah.
They're both really good strikers. It's going to be a good fight, a lot of action. It's going to be on their feet mostly. It's going to be all stand-up, just striking, kicks.
I hope that's how it is.
But I'm going to take Stevens here. The other 4 fights, I think we'll get into a little bit more. This one is like I said, there's 4 fights you can really look forward to. This one I'm not, too psyched up about. Then we get into the good fights. The next one up is Sean Shirk making his comeback against Evan Dunham. Manaf, you're going Shirk here?
I'm taking Sean Shirk. I've always been a big fan of him. He only has 4 losses in his career, dude, and they're to Matt Hughes, GSP, BJ Penn, and Frankie Edgar. All of which 2 of which are current champions, and the other 2 have been champions at one point. I think he's a great fighter, and I think he's going to make his, now that he's coming back, actually going to make his comeback and hopefully be a contender again.
I'm taking Dunham here. He's younger. Shirk's a good fighter, really good fighter. But he's almost 10 years younger, undefeated. Shirk, I saw a stat that said he's only won 1 fight in the last 3 years. I mean, and granted, I know you said he went up against BJ Penn, Frankie Edgar, GSP, and Matt Hughes.
Matty Hughes.
But, I mean, you're put into these fights because people feel like you can beat these people. Nobody put Chael Sonnen in against Anderson Silva thinking that Chael was going to just get the floor wiped with them.
Your post-steroids, though.
Yeah, that's another topic for another time. I'm really bummed about that. I'm a Chael Sonnen guy. And he really effed up here. I think. It's
another topic for another day.
Yeah, another topic for another day. But yeah, I'm going Dunham in this one. Like I said, he's younger. I think age has a lot to do, unless you're the wonder known as Matt Hughes
or Randy Couture for that matter.
Or Randy Couture, who can just keep going, just keep lining these guys up, and they'll keep knocking them down. There's going to be good wrestling in this fight. It's going to be a little bit less stand-up than the fight before. But, it's good to see that.
Absolutely. It is mixed martial arts.
Yeah, but, yeah, let's go into the top 3.
I'm ready.
Matt and I, we trade. Yes, I know. We shoved it down your throats before. We are on the down line of Team Sarah.
Yup, that is true.
And Matt Sarah makes his return, if you can say, because he hasn't fought in a while.
His last fight was February, so
7
worked
months
over Frank Trade.
Yeah, so I mean, he's making his return here against Chris Lytle. It's Ultimate Fighter. I think it was season 4.
I believe it was 4. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the rematch that gave Sarah the win. Who do you got this time around? 4 years later.
I'm gonna pick Matt Sarah for a few reasons, not just because we're teammates and everything, but I think he's a great fighter. I'm happy that he's actually fighting more than he was for a while. For a couple of years, he was only fighting once a year, and now he fought Frank Trigg and destroyed him in February. And I think he's great. His jiu-jitsu is unbelievable. He's got good stand-up. And the thing I really liked about this fight is that both fighters love to just let it bang, let the fist fly and everything. Even though Sarah's, the jiu-jitsu guy. I think, like I was reading online about this fight, it's going to be a barn burner, everyone's saying.
Yeah.
Non-stop, balls to the walls for as long as the fight lasts.
What I love about Matt Serra, and I'm going with him too here, is, and the only reason I'm going with him, the main reason I'm going with him, I don't see any quit in that guy.
Oh my God, he'll go balls out.
You've met him before, but you and I went down to New York, and we got a chance to meet him and go to his new academy, which is beautiful.
Oh my God, jiu-jitsu heaven.
And he's the guy, like, you can see he genuinely cares that everybody was there, but he's got that attitude too where, like, he's just the New Yorker that you expect. He's the guy who, you walk up to him, punch him in the face in New York, and he'll kill you. He will kill you.
Yeah.
He's absolutely relentless. I love watching him fight. GSP is my favorite fighter, and anybody who beats GSP to me is, somebody who,
one of two people to ever beat GSP.
One of two people to ever do it. I'd love to see them go a third time.
Hell yeah.
I'd love to see them go a third time.
I hope, after beating Lytle and maybe getting one or two more fights and a couple more wins, he'll be able to fight GSP again. Now that, like, maybe hopefully they're back into being a contender. One of the things I'd always say about fighters, I kind of pick them based on their training camps. Sarah's got Renzo Gracie and Ricardo Almeida, backing him and everything. I think that's just great. That's a huge advantage in my book.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, taking nothing away from Lytle, I mean, he's a good fighter too. I think it's really cool how they came up in the same season of The Ultimate Fighter, and they're going at it again. It's a cool little story, But, yeah, Matt Serra definitely in this one. I'm really excited to see that fight.
And I'm rocking the Tokyo 5 in his honor.
Yeah, Matt and I go out for the UFC fights. We head up to Jillian's up here in Worcester. And, if you're out, come on by. We'd love to see you.
Say hi, buy us a beer. We'll buy you a beer, either or.
Yeah, we usually get a nice plate of wings and just enjoy the fight. So
yes, sir.
You're rocking the Tokyo 5?
Oh, in his honor, I'm rocking the Tokyo 5.
That's pretty awesome.
All day.
That is pretty awesome. Going into the next fight, you got Antonio Nogueira, not Rodrigo, versus Ryan Bader. This is a big fight.
Mm-hmm.
Both these guys, you could see them contending for the title soon.
Right.
I'm going to go Nogueira here. I wasn't that impressed with his last fight against Jason Brills.
He kind of stole it, I think, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he just,
I think, won it.
Yeah. I really wasn't that impressed by him, but I know that he can do better than that. I've seen his training videos with him and his brother, and I've seen the background story.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed by him. I think, one of these two guys is, coming really, really close to a title shot, and this is going to, I think, one way or another decide it.
Right.
Bader is a great fighter. From The Ultimate Fighter again. Which
Season 8, I believe.
The Ultimate Fighter, I mean, is the best thing that ever happened to the UFC.
Dude, they produce so many just talented
homegrown
fighters.
talents.
It's unbelievable.
That people, have seen before because they watch the show, so they care about the fights.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's genius what they've done. You get other, the Hard Knock stuff promoted. The Jets huge. Everybody hates the Jets now.
That is true.
But everybody's talking about them.
Yep.
Same thing with what the Ultimate Fighter is doing. So I'm going Nogueira here. Who do you got, buddy?
I'm taking Bader. He's undefeated. He's just a great fighter, and I agree. Nogueira is one of, I think, in my book, one of probably three of the best light heavyweights right now that are still prospects. Him and John Jones is the other one, but I think Bader, he's got superior wrestling skills. He trains with Cain Velasquez. He's I think he's gonna take it, and he has Darth Bader as his nickname. That's fucking sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
I think the wrestling's going to take him down, ground and pound, and see what happens.
I think Nogueira's, I think his jiu-jitsu and his striking is going to be better in this fight than it was in the last one. I'm really intrigued to see this fight. I think, again, it's one of those ones that could go either way.
I was literally just going to say that.
Both guys need a win here puts them at,
I agree with you.
Next tier for a title shot.
Absolutely agree.
And then we're going into the main event of the night. Frank Mir versus Mirko Cro Cop. I have two problems with this being the main event.
Continue.
Before we pick it. Problem number one. Frank Mir shouldn't be headlining this pay-per-view.
I 100% agree with you.
His last two fights, he's gotten rocked.
Yup.
Brock.
And Shane Carwin.
And the Carwin fight made him look worse than the Brock fight did. Because the whole Mir put on so much muscle and everything for that fight. Said, I need to have this fight with Brock. It's what I live for.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I care about. And then he just got worked. Carwin just laid into him, and I'm very excited to see Shane Carwin's next fight. I hope he doesn't, he's not a one and done. He loses the title belt and goes away. I hope he's not like that. My problem number 2 is I don't care or know enough about Mirko Cro Cop. This guy is from Pride.
Yeah, he's a throwback.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been into the UFC as much as you have, and the Ultimate Fighter, and all that stuff.
Right.
I've gotten into it the last 2-3 years. So I mean, you know more about this guy than I do. I just don't think that. I mean, you had the last pay-per-view, BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar, the rematch.
Right.
Then the one before that, you had Brock Lesnar, Shane Carwin. Let's get at it. Then you're going to bounce back, especially with 120 being such a dud coming up.
Horrible card. I don't want to talk about it.
I'd be perfectly content if you throw the Matt Serra Chris Lytle fight on top.
It should be. Everyone's saying that's going to be the best fight.
It's going to be the best fight. Or even, I can see Nogueira Bader, not as a headline fight, but it's going to be a better fight than this one. Be that as it may, I'm taking Frank Mir. Cro Cop's, from what I know of him, he's just a stand-up striker.
Yep. Kickboxer, fighting.
Frank Mir, he's got the jiu-jitsu that he's just excellent at. He strikes well also. I'm excited to see if Mir kept his physique up for this fight. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know. This fight doesn't really do it for me. I'm excited. I like Frank Mir. I really do.
Right.
I just feel like coming off of 2 mainstream losses, he shouldn't be headlining this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mir actually had sandwiched between the Carwin and Brock Lesnar debacle. He beat Cheat Condro, but that's really not saying much. But I agree. I think Mir is the primary talent here. Jiu-jitsu is, it's not great jiu-jitsu, but it's better than what Mir Crop's going to throw at you. And Mir Crop, I forgot what pay-per-view he was on last, but he was like a mid-card fighter. He fought Pat Barry, mid-card. Now he's just the main event. It's just because of his name. I think he's going to get tapped out most likely. And fuck Mir Crop.
Yeah, this fight, I think it's going to go very similar to the James Toney Randy Couture fight, where Cro Cop's going to look to stand up and just bang out, and hopefully his corner is smarter than Tony's corner and tells him, watch out. Mir's good on the ground. He's good at the jiu-jitsu. He's going to look for the takedown. We'll see, though. It's going to be a good card. I'm looking forward to going out this weekend. We'll have a good time. We didn't get a chance to go out for the last one.
Yeah. And FYI, listeners, we will not be reviewing 120, just in our moral oppose.
Yeah, I mean, we might pick one fight, but that's it.
It's just horrible.
From one horrible thing to a fantastic thing. Celeb you want to smack,
favorite segment of this.
Who do you want to smack? Who's getting under your skin?
I'm gonna smack Braylon Edwards. I say this because
good call.
As most people have known, he was arrested for DUI, and he's a douchebag. He was with 3 other people. The thing that pisses me off, everyone can get a DUI, but the thing that pisses me off is the NFL has a policy. I forgot what it's called, but the team,
no DUI policy.
Basically, the team, if you call up a car, your team person, they will send a car service for you and pick you up and make sure that someone comes with them to drive your car home so your car is not in front of a club somewhere. You should probably do that. It's free. It doesn't cost anything for you. The team pays for it. Why are you not doing it? It's the same thing, kind of on the same line as Plaxico Burress. If you have all this money and you can't, you're going to shoot yourself because you can't have a bodyguard.
I'm with you. That is really dumb. I'm going David Hasselhoff. This guy just pumps himself up so big.
Don't hate on the Hoff.
Dude, he's the first one out of Dancing with the Stars.
He's not bad knees.
It doesn't matter. My boy, the situation's still in there. He's my pick to win it all.
He's Italian. Italian just dance.
He's going to get better. I'm not a Hasselhoff guy. He does this whole, look at me, I'm David, I'm the Hoff.
Yeah, he's very.
He just needs a good smack upside the head. That was so quick. I can't believe we're running out of time already.
It's been a lot of time in the UFC, I think.
We did, but I think the card's worth it.
Yeah,
the main event I could do without, it could not do without, but I'd be okay with a change.
Yeah.
Going to give some huge shout outs to your brother, number one, Dan Monopoly. Invited a ton of his friends. You guys all responded well, joined. Quickly. Ty picked Mir, Bader, Serra, Shirk, and Gillard. Justin Zillman took Mir, Serra, Nogueira, Shirk, and Gillard. I want to give huge shout-outs to them. Thank you for emailing in. I wish we could have spent more time on that with you guys. My dear Tiffany, we referred some of her friends to join. Yeah. Arya's done a sick job. He's going to get this up to you guys by Friday.
Thank you, Arya.
We were going to do a Reggie Bush thing. We couldn't really get to it. Dylan and Teresa chimed in. We got to go. We're running out of time. 2 seconds.
Bye, guys.
Boom.
Thank you.